this day, man. For it will be yours for all time. We have shown them that a trembling hand can become a fist. We have challenged the idea that a slave must always know his place, excepting Rod and Lash because he was taught to accept it. We built their mighty republic with our hands and our blood and our lives. And we can see it fall at equal cost. You opened my eyes to this, Spartacus.
You guys need to stop having babies with broke men.
And why is that?
I'm pregnant, so obviously I need a push present, so let's go shopping.
Oh, so she can go shopping. What a delulu reason.
A surrogate costs $60,000. Like, you should at least get $100,000, especially if they love you.
So she's going to think her husband doesn't love her anymore when he can't give her $100,000 gift. So when he runs out of money, the love is finished.
But seriously, like, you need to stop having babies with broke men. Because why would you do that to your baby? I also want a Birkin, but I don't want this one. I want one that's made out of, like, crocodile. It's just the vibes.
Poor crocodiles, they are losing their lives just for vibes.
Shopping for a baby is fun. That's like the whole reason I'm even having a baby, is because it's so fun shopping for a baby.
Jesus Christ on the motorbike. Normal humans are here having babies to create families, and then this one is here having babies to have designer bags and bracelets.
At the same time,
people often ask how and why we let our 5 dogs sleep on the bed.
Add me to those people.
So here's your answer. Our first Great Pyrenees puppy jumps on the bed, then our lab. The smallest of our dogs, she goes and finds her bed in between our heads.
So you just allow them? What an elaborate way to avoid doing shakalaka boom boom with your husband. What happened to I am tired or I have a headache?
This is where it gets hard. Lily, who I have to help on the bed because she can't jump.
Wait, she doesn't just allow them, she enables them. No wonder the husband seems like he hasn't done shakalaka boom boom in 7 years.
All of these dogs are pretty big, but Lily is the biggest.
Again, the husband seems like he is thinking, I thought I was the biggest.
So she usually sleeps at the end of the bed, and then once we lay down, they all rearrange and find their spots.
The dogs are getting more play than the husband in their bed. What a catastrophe.
There goes Mahi. We struggle, but we love it.
He doesn't love it. Look at his face. He loves it as much as I love vegan nuggets. And I don't.
So that's why we let them sleep on our bed.
Your reasons are delulu. You need to reevaluate your life.
Giving birth to my dog was
Excusez-moi, say what?
Giving birth to my dog was literally like the best experience of my life.
Lady, are you delulu? Go play outside. You need some real experiences.
9 months of her in my tummy and she literally looks just like me.
Jesus Christ on the motorbike, lady. Okay then, who impregnated you those 9 months? Scooby-Doo? And what do you mean you look like the dog? You look as much alike as chicken nuggets look like vegan nuggets. They don't look alike. So not only is her mind delulu, her eyes are also delulu. Multiple delulu organs. Look at the dog's face. It looks like it is thinking, my owner don't lost her damn mind. Somebody set me free.
When the water broke, I went to the hospital and I felt her little paws in my tummy and
What is this one smoking? I don't want to use it. I just want to give it to my enemies so that they can start seeing and feeling things that are not there.
I was like, it's time to come out. I literally love my dog with my heart.
Okay, but your dog wants to escape.
Giving
And hail the chat. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Before we begin tonight, there's a very important message that we need to look at. Please, for the love of God, subscribe to Immortal Coil. This guy's out here giving plasma every damn day. And he's starting to look like Ryan Rodgerathi. Please, we don't want that to happen. Please subscribe to his channel. This man needs to be monetized. For God's sakes. I'm sorry, Coil. Much love to y'all. Before we go to anything further, I would like to introduce one of the guys I started YouTubing with. This gentleman's been with me since the beginning. He is one of the best people I've ever met on YouTube. I'm propping him up, guys. Please sub to him. And please give a warm welcome for my brother, my friend, hail the fourth wave, Sporking News Podcast. You're so muted. You're muted.
I don't care. How do you have so many more subs than me?
Hard work. I'm more attractive.
All right. Let's put my fake cup back up there. Every single one. I notice how much I do the cup thing. Hey everybody, Scott. Yes, Sporking News Podcast. If you don't know me, he's the real narcissist.
Yeah.
Tricking you all.
I say, I'm just trying to. That channel's actually based on how to gaslight bitches, and I've been very good at it. I tried to explain to Scott, you gotta cry your way to the top. But you gotta do it the right way. He's been crying to the wrong people. He was crying to neurotic.
Backstage. Yeah. That's rough.
And you just find look. What you got to do is you got to stab yourself in the penis as hard as you can with the worst woman you can find, and you can blow up. That's how you work it.
Yeah, no, not my thing. I'd rather read books that'll never finish, series that'll never finish, talk about conspiracies that make people think I'm nuts, and anything else that I enjoy, like anime. But I know narcissists in my past, I guess. So who hasn't dated one of them crazy bitches?
A lot of us actually, which is the strangest thing. When I first started doing this channel, people from all over the old YouTube sphere, the old indie sphere came to me. Hail out, shout out to like Tim's Talk, shout out to Wes Moody, shout out to Tina Bojan, shout out to a lot of different people, Eatepalkulian. A lot of people have had interactions with narcissists in the past. And it was strange that the ones who had dealt with narcissism, either in a relationship or in their family, understood why I was losing my shit. Yeah. And thank God for them. Thank God for people like you, brother. Before we begin tonight, I would like to say that this as always, these streams are sponsored by Scott's Meats. Scott's Meats are lean, mean, vasectomized peen. You will not catch anything from these meats, but you can find them at your local grocery store. Thank you very much.
You might catch a good time. You might catch a good time.
This is also, but we're trying to get to 50K, y'all. So we get to 50K. We're going to get the Train Wreck Express a-rolling, myself and Immortal Coil. This is our mission statement. 2 damaged fucks traveling the world, convincing you of your worth, teaching you the middle finger boundary, the art of savage spirituality. We're going to be filling souls and stuffing holes out there. And that is the point of this channel, Scott. That's where we're headed.
Yeah, 50K. If you get to 50K before, I'm even lucky if I break 6K. What am I talking about? I will pull out my large cylinder frozen meats.
You will?
For everybody.
Yeah? I mean, are you saying that right now?
I'll cook. If you get to 50 before I get anywhere, where am I? Oh, shit, I might not get there. Yeah, 6K. That gives me some little room to work with. Jesus Christ, I
would also like to say happy birthday to Gina Carano. Happy birthday, sweetheart. As always, the stream and Scott's Meats. Scott's Meats are approved by Gina.
Yep. Keto. It's also keto.
So before we go forward, man, I just got to say hi to the hell of the chat, because the chat is where it's at. That's who keeps us a-rolling. Immortal Coil is out there. Thank you to Immortal Coil. We're not gay. We're not gay for each other. We're just we spend a lot of time together now.
Interbreeding. Interbreeding things.
It's not docking, Scott. It's a close embrace. It's a man hug. We've man hugged,
Yeah, but when you have to do the tippy toes to make sure it touches, like that's docking.
I'm not that short. No, I was with you. You saw me.
Yeah, I did, and it's like one of these things. Like,
no, it is not. You see,
hey everybody, Stephen Wallen here.
This man is lying.
Just want to let everybody know I write books, and I'm the historian. You're historian. I can't hold myself up anymore. Stop smoking. Something like that. Something like that. I'm going to drop my camera.
Stop smoking. My God. Hail to Mortal Coil. Thank you for being here. One of the members of the Dragonstorm team, Scott Clark, is here. Guys, please subscribe to Scott Clark. Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for being here, man.
I don't know Scott Clark. How are you, Scott?
Scott's a pretty cool dude. He's like a spiritual Christian. You guys will get along real well. Absolutely. Jessica's out there training for her PhD, one of the nerds in the Dragonstorm community. Yeah, her and Immortal Coil are going to talk about chronons or some nerd shit. We covered Sam Vatkin last week, who's the gentleman, the Professor Sam Vatkin, who actually coined the term narcissistic abuse.
Yeah, I think I read that somewhere.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool. I mean, and he shouted us out. He's a narcissistic borderline. So we stroked his ego a little, and
Just
that's,
to get
that's
those
how you
tweets or those X's.
that's how
Now,
you get that's how you get it working.
Is he like a academic? Like, does he work at a university?
Yeah, yes, he does. He's written several papers and books on the topic, as well as some science papers considering time chronons. And he's very informative. A lot of people who have diagnosed NPD, I have found, end up being those who kind of work in the abuse awareness community, letting people know. Some of them get off on it. We're going to cover this guy, H.G. Tudor. I read a book from him, and his book was literally like, hey, I'm a narc. I'm going to teach you guys how to recognize narcs and how to defeat them because I'm going to get off on it. So,
okay, coming from a former, a guy in recovery, a narc is something completely different. So,
understood. Right, yeah. I understand.
I'll just know yours is narcissist. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Well, short term. I don't want to say narcissist all the time. There's a lot of syllables, Scott, and I have delicate lips.
Definitely. That's not what Immortal said. He said your lips are robust.
Did he? Thank you, Coyle. I appreciate you. Papa Cotton's in the chat. What is up, Papa Cotton? Good to see you. Andy's out here. Zombie Box Reviews. Hell, brother. Good to see you. Channel member, keep looking up. What is going on? Thank you very much, sister, for being here. Good to see you. Let's see. Anybody else that I may have missed? There's Pop Cotton. No, we don't do that here. We're not doing that tonight. We're not being funny tonight. What are you doing, Papa? No.
What does that mean?
Listen.
There's coffee. There's shit. There's eggplant. What are you doing to the tree? What is that all about?
It's a vicious rumor, Scott. It's a vicious rumor.
Let me just ask you a question. What happens to your loins when I say like blue spruce? He twitched. You saw.
Vaginas in the rain. So many fucks given. Wet ass vagina.
These are all vicious rumors. These are all vicious. None of them are founded. And you know what's messed up is I was going to be a passport bro. I said I'm tired of Western women, Scott. So I'm going to be a passport bro. And I said I was going to go to Asia and look for a woman. And then Mr. Tickle Trunk
dude, did you really say that?
I did. Mr. Tickle Trunk said I was going to find a lady boy that could cook.
Yeah, totally. Totally.
No.
You're going to go to like Saigon or like Malaysia or somewhere where it's like, like you're just going to look from like the navel up and be like, okay, I'm good with that. Because they'll trick you.
I've heard. This is totally disrespectful. Just because it's how these Hollywood bigwigs make parties that are designed to initiate and traumatize new Illuminati members. We're going to talk a little bit about that later on, actually. Yeah, Jessica's a smart cookie.
Jessica, it goes far back. It goes far back in Hollywood. The warped devil, it's devil worshipping and Illuminati. They're pretty much the same thing in my mind. They try to say like it's about knowledge and and wisdom. It's not. It's about getting people in positions, even when they're not in their right mind, maybe drugging them a bit and putting them into positions where now you have photos or video and those people are under your wing control forever. I do like, cause don't Papa Cotton, I won't forget that question. He asked something like, what's my craziest conspiracy theory that I actually believe? I'm not saying it actually is true. What I am saying is I can believe in some form of hollow earth, that the planet is not like this full crust of mantle and and I'm not saying there's a sun down there and an advanced civilization, but I do believe in large enough cavities, creatures could have developed over 4.5 billion years in the dark, like we see in the deep blue sea, the ability to live in these oceans underwater where they're getting their source of like minerals and stuff, not from the sun, but from other elements and minerals that are in the earth. And they may have evolved into something more than just a whale or a dolphin. They may have more cognitive abilities. I believe in some crazy shit, Papa. To be honest, I really do. Like there's this one where I believe in this guy who, like, really good dude, gets kind of effed over by some boys and other people that were jealous. So they kill him. And like 3 days later, he comes back, and not for like a day, for like 40 of them. That dude That's the greatest conspiracy ever.
Yeah, brother.
That's Jesus Christ. I'm the worst Christian. Oh, it's so
you're a wonderful Christian. Scott loves you.
I
I bet
am.
Scott Clark loves you.
I don't go to church. I believe in what he said. And I also read the Gnostic Gospels and stuff like that. So I believe even more than what the church will teach you. But anyways,
Well, I
he
mean,
might have been an alien. I don't know.
I mean, forgive me if I'm wrong, sir, but didn't he say the world was your church?
Well, he said if two or more of you are sitting there and pretty much talking about his teachings, then that is your church. Like the idea that to me, another great conspiracy for you, Papa. The idea of, and sorry, I don't mean to, I'm going to offend Catholics. And I'm sorry, Miss Martin Muses. I'm sorry, but the idea of the vicar of God, the Pope, to me that is the Antichrist. That is Baal. That is the golden calf. You are propping a man up who says he speaks for God. Like he is God's word on earth. Like that is so like wrong in every doctrine you could think of, where one human being could be like, yeah, let's support the Nazis for a while. We'll get them to Argentina. It's the right thing to do. Like it is the wrongest thing to have one person that is infallible. I think the word is, where whatever he says is coming straight from God. That is blasphemy. That is freaking blasphemy. And I'm not one of these like mega church, like, well, we going to jail tonight. I literally haven't been to church in decades. I'm going to start bringing, my daughter's been asking to go to church. So I think we're going to go to like a Baptist church because they have some soul, but,
oh yeah. Baptists are excitable. A lot of good energy.
It's all about what the minister is preaching, like if you're preaching the good word, like the whole opposite of, like the whole thing that Jesus was saying, like, the meek will inherit the earth. That doesn't mean like the lowest of the low. It just means the people right now that don't have the means to get by. Someone, no offense, like you at the moment, in the last year or two, you were the meek, someone who was downtrodden, a sinner. Those are the people that when they repent, and meaning just try to do the right thing in my mind, they will inherit heaven pretty much, where I'm going to be jamming with the Beatles and Jimi Hendrix. It's going to be fucking awesome.
Well, I think if I translate that into my spirituality, you can't attain higher understanding unless you overcome obstacles. You walk that dark path. You've got to overcome things in your life in order to understand yourself and also other people who go through. There's no light without dark.
And the idea that you, to me, a Christian doesn't go and attack people. That is the exact opposite of what he taught. Like, the slap, if someone slaps you, give them your other cheek, pretty much. That's what he told us. The idea that people like attack people for being gay, attack people for this, look, transgendered people in my mind, sorry, YouTube, whatever. I don't want to get Steven in trouble, but to me, there are people that need help. Okay. For the most part, I would say 98% of them need help. And what we're doing now in this culture is feeding into it. And they're weaponizing those poor people. And the truth is somewhere in their life, they were hurt and something changed them, where they never felt right in their own body, where they're teaching a 9-year-old at my kid's school that what transgendering is. And I could tell the teacher didn't want to do it because the way my daughter explained it to me, and I had to talk with the teacher, but the way that my daughter explained it to me, she was pretty much like, you guys aren't this, but there are people. Like, she didn't want them because they're trying to confuse the youth. And what happens is a lot of kids that are on the spectrum feel like they're not right in their own skin, or, like they're the ones that are doing this, or they're tricking these poor kids into thinking that, like you, Steven, like when you were probably 18, the time you made out with your next door neighbor, Bill, it happened. Okay. You realized you didn't like it. It was all right for the night, but you know what I mean? Like the idea that we aren't teaching kids to love who they are, accept who you are and love who you are for what you are. That's a big problem. So the idea is all these, including myself, I'm a sinner, but all these assholes trying to tell you what Jesus said are the ones that really never got the message. And I guess I'm doing exactly what I say I hate they do, but I hate people that attack like they literally, and we know people. I mean, I have friends that do this from on YouTube and in real life. And it's like, dude, who made you the minister? And they'll pick like one phrase in the gospel. And it's like, I don't think he meant that. You know, you're like one step away from like a blanket party or something, you know, you need to pump the brakes. So yeah, sorry. I really,
no, you're fine.
Yeah. What conspiracy again?
I look at that as spiritual narcissism, as a person who's been a part of a minority religion for a long time. You will see people, and it's not just, it could be politics, it could be religion, it could be whatever it is. You take this platform and then you use it to justify causing harm to another or reinforcing bigotries. And, you know, when it comes to like mega churches and things like that, you know, they are people who they're chasing money. They're chasing fame and power. They're not trying to spread any kind of word or give any spiritual enlightenment to anyone.
But that doesn't mean people don't benefit. There are people that benefit greatly from those mega churches, but they bought in. Like there are con men out there. We all know it, but there are also guys with these mega churches that just became like, wow, this got away from me, but all right, let's do this thing. And there's nothing that says you can't have wealth. I know there's the whole, you know, it's easier for a camel to go through the needles, the head of a needle or whatever, the eye of the needle, which isn't like a needle, but like a door in a castle. Than a rich man getting into heaven. And that just means like to the effect where if you have so much money, and there are people in this world that do, I don't think there's nothing that says they have to give it. But when you have so much, you can do more. And you don't need to do things where everyone knows you did it. Help somebody out in a community near you, you know, without like, that's the hardest thing. To do something for somebody without them ever knowing, because everybody wants that. Thanks, man. And I feel better about myself. The hardest thing to do. And I tried it for 30 days. It's almost impossible for me. Do something nice for somebody every day without them knowing it was you. Because people want that. They want the benefit back. That feeling of like, oh, I'm doing good for others. But really what you're doing is that narcissistic in a way thing of self-service. Yeah. Yeah. So we're all fine. It's fine. None of us are gonna get it. I am horrible, you know.
A lot of things covered just in that the statement last 15 minutes alone. Yes, I believe that like doing good unto others is there's the reward is doing that. The reward is because in my view we're all family on this earth. And so if you are helping someone else, you're helping yourself. And in the same respect, if you're hurting another person, you're hurting yourself because we're all children of God. So as you said, it's the opposite when you go after someone and you try and defame them or you try and attack them, restrict their rights, whatever the case may be. Like, you're hurting yourself. One of the things that you covered was talking about transgenderism and how the psychopathic, narcissistic, cluster B, toxic people who work in Hollywood, in politics. They are trying, we talked about this several times on our channel here with Immortal Coil and I. They are trying to make children, in my opinion, young people, more accessible to perverts. And that is due to conditions that are caused in some ways, not en route, but can be en route, from molestation or over-sexualization as a child. And it's also a condition that some narcissistic abuse victims have to overcome because those who have been molested as children, like myself, end up getting hypersexualized. When you are looking for a partner who's manipulative, who abandons you, especially if you have an abandonment complex, because you become attached to that sexuality, you become dependent upon that person, especially if you were molested by family. Because that's the person that was supposed to protect you.
You haven't worked through it at all. I mean, really, that's what it is. You haven't dealt with what the boy in you is scared of, so those are it's all, go on, but that's a valid point, man. It opens the door to these vicious blood sucking people.
It does. And I think that it's a measure of passing on pain. Toxic people, we talk mainly about narcissists here, but you can also bridge us into any type of toxic personality disorder. You know, their job is to pass on pain. They don't want to feel alone with the damage inside. And however that manifests in the behavioral disorder, they want to pass on that pain. They want other people to have those conditions. They want them to go through the same suffering, which gives them some, and depending on the condition, some type of elation and joy. When it comes to the Hollywood sphere, the political sphere, those that, you know, could are probably on lists that haven't been released to us because we would know who is visiting places that were abusing children.
They're all
on it. Right.
Yeah. I have no doubt. The biggest ones that are doing the, you know, from both sides that seem like they're fighting each other, senator versus senator, but really they're buddies behind the door, you know, banging the fucking sacred owl. Yeah, dude, they're horrible human beings. Like, you know, another conspiracy is the whole adrenochrome thing, with children.
The gold juice.
Yeah. And did you notice, and people try to like say, oh, it's because they didn't do makeup. But when freaking the vid hit and shit was locked down and people weren't getting it, Hillary, Ellen, all these, I'm just saying they were doing it, but they all got old real fast. Tom Hanks, they all just went from looking like, oh, they're kind of still look like they're in their 40s to like, shit, they all look like they're in their 60s and 70s. That shit. And that wasn't plastic surgery. That wasn't Botox. That wasn't fat being shot in your lips. That was something more demonic. And I'm not saying definitely those people I just said, but that shit is real. That demonic idea, it may not actually work, but in their mind it works. And if your mind is powerful, and if you believe it works, it may work. You know what I mean? It's terrifying.
No, we cover Luciferin Hollywood and what they're doing all the time. And it is an establishment that has been put into place. And when you're dealing with people who crave power, and want to hold on to that power, narcissistic types, not necessarily narcissistic or narcissists themselves, they're going to do anything to keep it. They're going to do anything to make sure that everyone around them cosigns to the same narrative that they believe in. They want to make sure all the fly monkeys, all the haters around them are all going to agree, so that it's a cult. It literally becomes a cult in and of itself. And we are in such need. We are in such need of that client list being released, the flight logs being released. We are in need of truth. We need to know who these people are that are running our governments. I mean, not just in America.
Yeah.
Also influencing children. You look at we were going to cover the that series about Nickelodeon. Remember we were talking about that.
I haven't watched the most recent episode, but yeah. It's funny you brought that up because I was talking to somebody who's in their 40s, that younger 40s. So they grew up just at that era where like it was coming to like the early Nickelodeon stuff. And you talk about that guy, Dan Schneider, and just like the shots on girls' faces of like goo and like this Ariana Grande being like just completely sexualized. And the person said something and it took them a second. They're like, yeah, but you don't notice that as a kid. And they're like, and you just see, it's like a joke for an adult. And I said, yeah, but it's a kid's show and a kid actually had to have that done to them. And like, they talk about it. Like Jamie Lee Lynn Spears, like there's one where, I mean, it looks like she boom in the face. You know, and she's like freaking 12. And they said on set, all the boys were like, that's a cum shot. Like everybody but the two girls knew what it was. That's sick that someone approved that. Not just Dan, like somebody approved that at Nickelodeon. Somebody else checked it, edited it, and was like, oh no, this is a better version. Like there are a lot of sick fucks.
And that culture has been behind the scenes in different places. Like Nickelodeon was allowed to go on for so long that it became the culture.
But it's been theaters and vaudeville and early TV. Right. I mean, it's been going on for freaking ever, where kids have been taken advantage of because predators go where kids are. Teachers, priests, like shit like that. It's sad to say. I mean, me, I worked in that field with the community. The population was 12 to 24 sex offenders at all time in a lockdown facility for like almost 4 years, and literally changed me as a human being. I went from easygoing and laughable to everybody's an offender and I got to protect my kid. Like, I don't trust anyone really. Like very, very few people. And even that, like, it's like, dude, you can trust that person. No, I don't trust anybody. You know, like after you hear stories of a dad who dressed his son up as his dead wife for almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there is some twisted motherfuckers out there, man. And the idea that Hollywood literally protects them, you know, and people say that it's not true, but the church moved them around. You know, people defend that. I mean, I have friends that are diehard Catholics and they defend, no, they called the police and the police said to put them in therapy and move them. No, they protected those people. Hollywood's protecting them. It's terrifying to think what politicians are doing. You know, like these people with power. I'll never forget an old timer I used to work with. Passed away, but this man Ski had the greatest like knowledge. You know, he'd impart, and one of his things was, think about it. These people have all the money in the world. After a while, sex with somebody who's of the opposite sex it's like loses its thrill. So then they move on to something kinkier and a couple people and then orgies. And then, hey, let's throw this in and that in. And there you get the real sick fucks that start going down that, you know, the new term. What's the new term for Fredo? They call them minor attractive. Like that's how fucked up it's getting. That's how fucked up it's getting.
Well, they excuse it. Actually, when you're somatic narcissists are narcissists who use their bodies in order to manipulate. And that's how those people get, you know, you manipulate person after person, relationship to relationship. Eventually, you know, there's missionary style isn't working. They have to reach that, have to attain that new high. How can I cheat? How can I be a worse person to the person I'm fooling so that I can, you know, generate more negative supply? And so eventually a somatic narcissist will get to a point where they're having orgies, having sex with the same type, having sex with transsexuals, you know, just trying to find that next high. It's an addictive
Are they
personality.
Always looking to get caught?
They do actually want to get caught. They that's why they project.
Part of the game. It's part of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, narcissists will point the finger at you and say you're cheating. They're cheating, or will say the favorite is you're the narcissist. Right. And there's so much confusion that has happened by the time you realize the person you've trusted is backstabbing weasel that has played so many games and talked to everyone around you, that has made sure to go to your family and friends and cast you in a certain light. So when you flip out from their abuse behind the scenes, then they can point the finger and say, look, I told you they were the abusive one. They're the narcissist.
Man. Yeah.
And
it's
so
like a drug addict. It's like a drug addict.
And I kind of wanted to go into that with you, actually. Wanted to touch base. But before we do that, there's a couple comments in the chat I'd like to get to. Okay. Because the chat's where it's at. Zombie Box Reviews, you're going to teach Scott how to gaslight his wife now. No, I'm scared of Mrs. Scorpion.
I already do it. I mean, what? No way. She'll kill me.
Jessica says, there's one guy on YouTube who told a particular podcast about how he escaped a party before he could have been traumatized. We hear those stories all the time. We're talking about the sex parties, the initiation parties. Oh, yeah, man.
Those initiation parties. Like, look at these young rappers, man. Like, well, fuck P. Diddy. Holy shit.
Yeah, oh my God.
Instead of being like, oh, I want to be a gangster rapper, now they're all dressed up in like thigh highs, devil costumes. It's like, when did gay rapping become like the thing? Like, it's all, someone up there has so much control. They're just like puppets. They're all puppets to them. They're not.
Yes, people. They are. And these are the ones who are being fed, right? Like Harvey Weinstein. We got fed Harvey Weinstein. You know, that if that's a little fish, then imagine who the grand orchestrators are of these.
Let's not forget who he was friends with. Look at a lot of the pictures and the people he were in and the way they talked about him. They all fucking knew who he was. They think we're that dumb, but the problem is we're all just kind of, we all are like, oh, you know, I'm not going to say the Clintons because I would never talk bad about the Clintons because I don't want to die.
I don't want to be on that list.
Right. But let's just say Billary, you know, we're in a lot of pictures, talked really well about him because he funded. You're telling me you never had a red flag about that dude? You never heard a story about that dude? It's so sad. They hide behind, like they really don't do it as much anymore, but like politicians used to hide behind their Christian values when they're like part of Satan's choir, you know?
Right.
It's messed up, man.
It is sick. Immortal Call brought up something similar. Big Mike. I'm going to get Wes Moody and the quarter roll test in here one day. Promise you that.
I don't know who Big Mike is. Oh, Big Mike. Oh, yeah. Shit. That is a strong.
Scott Clark says there is definitely some dark projects happening in the Earth. Antarctica is a rabbit hole.
Yes,
I told
sir.
you get along with it. You're going to get along with
sir.
it, Scott.
Yeah, keep an eye out for my aluminum spork shows. It's been a little mixture of just random shit, but most of the time we're talking conspiracies, and Antarctica is where it's at, man. And when you mean rabbit hole, there literally is a rabbit hole. The size of,
you know, I want to get into that. It's one of the things I wanted to talk about from before because but hold on, let me stay succinct.
Keep going for it.
All right. Let's see. Well, I guess we're going there for the moment. Jessica says they found an ocean 3 times bigger than the ocean we have on our Earth's crust map.
Yeah. Is it 3 times? I know it's larger than all the oceans combined. I knew that. I thought it was like 2 times, but still, yeah. Look, we've only dug a hole, like a borehole, like 13 miles before all the drills started to melt and break. So the idea that we truly know, even using sonar and LiDAR and all that shit, like we really don't know what's deeper than a couple dozen miles down. It's what they believe. And I know geologists will come and throw all their psychobabble. And they probably have a valid point, but I'm an idiot who believes YouTube. So you're not going to fool me. The idea that we truly don't know what our core consists of and how it actually works. Like we do know it spins and creates a magnetic field, blah, blah, blah. But what happens 100 miles out of that? And what happens another 200 miles out of that? Like no way we're a solid sphere. Even Haley, I forget his first name, but Haley's Comet, that guy, he believed in the idea of a hollow earth, but he believed in actual different earths within earths within earths. I just believe there's capability of life that we will never find out about unless they want us to find out about it.
I am a huge believer in the pre-Younger Dryas civilizations. I think there were several civilizations before us, and I think they had different different types of humans at that time. I think we're pretty much we're the ones that survived. When you look at the very early post-Younger Dryas civs, they all speak about the underground caves. They all speak about transportation networks that go across the earth that's underground.
Yep.
Power. I think and power, right? Natural power. Tesla went to Egypt to figure out how to operate a Tesla coil because the pyramids are power generators. There's so much evidence that points to there is much more unexplored earth beneath us than we have an understanding that we today have an understanding of. And I truly do believe, like the Emerald Tablets, there are wisdoms that are being held by the top 13 families, Illuminati, whatever you want to call them, that are not being given bloodlines. Yeah, they're not being given out to we, the general public. And that's another crime. Withholding that type of information.
Control, man.
Absolutely.
I believe there was at least 5. There's been so many like catastrophes. The last one was the Younger Dryas, which for 1,000 years, there was another civilization we lost between the ice down, heat up. You know what I mean?
Look at
even before that. Yeah. But if you look at the Mayans talk about cycles, and one of theirs was we have had, I believe they said 5 cycles of man, and like 2012 was supposed to be a next cycle, which everyone assumed was the end, but what it meant was it could have been an awakening, the start of something new. And how much has the world changed from 2011 to today? I mean, there's definitely something happening, and we're actually losing the spiritual battle, the cultural battle. We're losing it all because no one wants to realize that the ancients had true wisdom, and where they were working with vibration and sound and dealing with their own chakras and working on themselves, we decided materialism and combustion engines, that's the way to go. And who's right, who's wrong, they got wiped out. But I just believe that you are arrogant if you can't say that like civilizations don't go even farther back than Göbekli Tepe. They just found that other one that's like 15,000 years old.
Oh, my, really?
Yeah.
Where
I
at?
can't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
If someone in the chat can find it, that'd be great.
Yeah, there's one that, because Gobekli's like 12 to 13,000, like right around the
13.
Younger Dryas. There was one even older.
Nice.
You know, like a civilization, kind of like it looked like either it was like a hub where people met or actually did like business living. But that whole area of Turkey and like the Fertile Crescent area.
Yeah, the
Because let's
cradle
not forget,
civilization.
we have the precession. So the precession of the earth, the wobble of the earth takes, I think, 26,000 years to do a complete circle.
Mhm.
So you have the age of Aquarius, the age of, it goes that way. So at some point when it tilts a certain way, you got a Sahara that rains, and other areas are dry for 10,000 years. Like the idea that we understand anything is like, you're telling me like the Romans, the Egyptians, none of the Egyptians ever said they built the goddamn pyramids or the Sphinx. Any record we have is the Sphinx talking to a pharaoh saying, if you restore me and dig me out, you will have a dynasty. That is all we have. That's all we have. And they love to talk shit. They loved everyone knowing what they fucking did. So tell me,
absolutely.
You know what I mean? Come on.
Well, they were the descendants, or they moved into where those great structures have been built. And let's not talk about the 12 levels of caves that are underneath Gaza that stretch for miles and miles and miles. I mean, if you want to make an argument about there being
the labyrinth, they believe that that's the labyrinth, the legendary labyrinth underneath. That's part of it. Because
like the
there
age of
are
Taurus.
levels. There's a shit ton of, there's a shit. Well, don't forget, a lot of the stories that the Romans had were bastardized stories that the Egyptians had, that were bastardized stories that the Sumer had. Like, you read the beginning of the Old Testament. Well, it's a lot like what the Sumer had with Gilgamesh and shit like that. But they all have stories that follow a certain pattern. There was a civilization, a flood came, 8 people brought us out of the darkness, taught us how to live again, brought us civilization. Almost 114 different cultures have a flood story, 114 different ancient cultures, and yet majority of them have something about 8 people giving them knowledge. And and you see the comparisons of this guy from India sounds a lot like this guy from, South America. Were they the same guy? I don't know.
Yeah, dig that. There's so much hidden history that is so interesting and could probably help us out. You've got to go out there and do the work. That's what Tesla did. That's how he created the inventions that he did. Real quick, I want to say hail to Lizzie, my Dragonstorm girls. How you doing, Lizzie? Good to see you. Keep looking up. Let's see. I talked to you earlier. I'm sorry. The chat jumped on me, y'all. Lizzie, how you doing, sweetheart? Oh, ventured with Beth. Look, I want to hit on you right now, but I can't, Beth. All right, we got to skip that. My toxic train wreck. I love you. Choo choo coming through.
The fuck just happened?
That's my girl, Beth. You got to understand, Scott. Okay. When I was broken inside and I couldn't talk to ladies and I felt bad, I didn't want to look at my wee-wee. It was bad.
Yeah, well,
Beth was there for me.
Yeah.
Beth was there for me, all right?
Okay.
So I love you, Beth. That's my toxic boo. Thank you so much.
Okay.
I want you to talk. I want you to talk down to me a little bit tonight. Thank you.
You need Jesus.
You're damn right I do. What's up? How you doing, Angela? Good to see you. Common element with all somatic narcissists is that they use looks to attract supply. This may or may not cheat on their supply, depending on how dominant their cerebral traits are. Yes, very true. If you're a cerebral narcissist,
just blew my mind. So explain that.
So she is talking about somatic narcissists who use their looks to manipulate. They also can use sexuality. And as she just said, as Angela, hail to you, sister. They may not cheat if they're smart, if they are like a cerebral narcissist as well. You can be both. So, where I was dealing with dummies. And so everybody was just banging trannies at truck stops. I understand.
Did you just
Cerebral.
admit you banged a trainee at a
Not me.
truck
I didn't
stop?
say me. I didn't say me.
I think someone clipped that. What time is
No,
it?
no.
8:49 p.m. Eastern. And we're about at the 48-minute mark of this stream. You just said everybody.
No.
So that
No,
when you
I don't
say
do that.
everybody, that's including yourself.
No,
Hey, look, lot
I'm
wizards,
a pagan
whatever.
man.
Yeah,
I'm a pagan
You're pegging?
man. I'm
What
a
are you
pagan man.
pegging? You're
No,
getting,
not pegging.
So you're
I'm
getting,
a pagan man.
dude. It's fine, but
No,
it's
this
not
ain't-
pegging if the tranny has a dick. That's just anal.
This is ew. No, none of this. None of this
Just trying to
happened
help
with
you, dude.
I think, oh Lord heaven. Oh Angela, what you do? Angela, but
See,
what she means is that
you blamed her.
Lucky Scott. Angela was when she's if you have like a woman who used her looks to attract a husband who's like a fly monkey or a cosigner, someone who's a walkover cuck. She may not cheat because she's a cerebral narcissist as well. So she can triangulate family members against him. She can triangulate children and
Sounds
get
like
her
drug
supply
addicts,
in that
man.
way.
Everything you're saying is an active addict.
Well, okay, and this is it. Let's go right into that because early on, when I was going through narcissistic abuse, Scotty came to me and said, "Look, man, I don't know what to do with you. You're acting like an addict."
Yeah,
and I didn't understand what he meant at first. It took me a long time. It took me a lot of education and going through the ropes to understand what he meant. But please explain that to me, Scott.
Well, yeah, I'm in recovery myself, and the idea that when you're in active addiction, you will play any game to get what you want. So if you need money, you'll play any game you need to. You'll pin family members that don't like each other against each other. Like, oh, he wasn't going to give me, I did this job for him. He's not going to pay me. Oh, I'll pay you for it. He's such an asshole. You have 35 different lies going on in your head at every second. You have to be able to pick out, what did I lie to that person about? How did I, and it took me a very long time not to automatically lie in recovery. And it's my wife that helped me with that. And even that time, I didn't tell her I went to the movies like a couple weeks ago. I got caught out because I can't lie anymore. I suck at it. And I also throw out the Regal big ass cup in our recycling bin. And it wasn't that I was trying to lie to her. I felt bad that I was going to a movie when she had all the kids. So I left work a little early to go see Dune when I worked my ass off, and she was right. You work your ass off. Why would you even lie? Just go see the movie. But it's almost, I beat myself up, which addicts do, but yeah, it's almost a game you're playing with yourself because you're the victim. I'm the victim. I'm the addict. I'm doing all this because I can't get off this drug. And that's kind of what these narcissists sound like. Like they're the victim. Everything's been done to them. They don't take responsibility, and all they're doing is chasing whatever that high is they want: sex, control, whatever. It's the drug. That's really what it is.
It's the drug of supply. And depending on the type of, one thing that I have learned that's been very enlightening for me is a lot of us are predisposed to being manipulated by these types due to traumas that we experienced as young people.
Yeah.
For me, it was cutting off sex because I had that sex attachment. I mean, there was a while there where I could not get off. I could not have sex unless it was with the narcissist, because that was the Hoover, that was the trick that she used to come back in. I also learned that
that was the good dope.
The good dope, right?
Yeah.
I also learned that I was emotionally unregulated to a great degree, which was something. It was that, and I needed to know that. And thank God, Etep Queen and all my friends who were like, "You're just a passionate dude." No, I would flip my shit and lose it if I was unbalanced. And so, what I talk about on this channel with people who are in recovery is face your demons. Face what it is in you that made you susceptible to the con artist's lies. Fix those things. Take this as a lesson. We were talking earlier. I can't remember exactly what it was, but take the narcissist as a lesson. Right? There's a reason that con artist came into your life, that they were able to manipulate you and do what they did. So what was it? Was your parent a narcissist? Were you raised in a situation that was abusive? Were you taught love bomb and devaluation? Were you molested? What is it about you that made you depend upon someone who constantly lets you down, gaslights you, talks about you, smears you, comes back, breadcrumbs you. And that is like the greatest achievement that I think we can take away from this is self-understanding, self-mastery, and learning about yourself. How is it for people in drug addiction recovery?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing is getting to know who you really are and accepting your faults and working on them. Like a lot of people in recovery, the first thing they do is like go and apologize to everybody because they're jumping the steps. The idea that you're doing that for yourself.
Right.
Like you need to work through the pain you went through. First of all, getting off your addiction mentally and physically, but also like what drove you to that? Was it abuse? All this different shit. Like a lot of people in the early 2000s, the aughts, they weren't probably destined to be drug addicts, but the idea of the pharmaceutical companies handing out fucking oxys like they were Pez caused a lot of these people. But for me, I'll just speak for myself, like working through my own inadequate feelings about who I was, who I am, what happened to me, the fear of the future, the dwelling on the past, not living in the present. You have to work through all these steps. You have to make a list of your flaws, and that list hopefully gets smaller every year. And if you're not working on it, which I haven't been really working enough, and that's when it'll sneak up on you. You might start with, I told myself I would, just for today, I wouldn't have cookies, but I'll eat a couple cookies. Like an addict always plans a relapse, even if they don't know it.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's how we are.
I would think like a narcissist would do the same thing. I won't see her. I'm just going to my hometown for a couple days, but I won't go see her. I mean, I remember you saying shit like
that's
that
how we
to me. And like, I saw your relapse. I saw your relapses so many times because any addiction or this idea of it's an addiction from both sides, the narcissist and the person being abused.
The supply.
Yeah. It's just a different view of it, but everybody is going through something that is an impulse that either they like, instead of like a chemical doing it, it's the dopamine effect, or it's, that rush of adrenaline because I'm cheating
Cortisol,
or I got that person. Yeah. And the idea that they just want to get that next fix, and it doesn't matter who they hurt to get that. That is what an addict is. And to come out of that, it's really hard to look at everything you did, all your faults. I mean, it takes a lot of work. And then you think you got to some place and you realize you got to go even higher. And it's a lifetime thing. Once you realize what it is, it's a lifetime thing.
It is. And I don't know, I can't speak for all my brothers and sisters out there, but I know for me, there's like almost a constant worry that I have to be aware of, because I understand that I can cut somebody off. I mean, you've seen me do it. I can cut somebody off in a heartbeat, just not talk to them. I'm done with you. I'm not going to contact. But when it comes to my addiction, the person who I became addicted to, I have to maintain no contact. I have to say nothing. I have to make sure I'm not around that person, because there is always a chance that I will fall back in.
Right. But you got to just do it today.
Cycle.
That's the thing. Like people think it's such a corny. No, really, like you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. So just today, don't fucking contact her. It makes life so much easier if you just say, I've got these urges, but you know what? Today I'm not going to contact her. And you know what? These urges usually last like literally a 20-second urge, but you keep playing it over and over in your mind.
Yes.
And that's when you start to relapse. You have to, okay, this second, I'm not going to contact her. If you have to even get it down to that point, but if you can make it through that day, the next day will be easier.
One of the difficult parts of dealing with this, and I don't know if you can translate this into your experience, is
you like trannies that lot lizard thing? Oh no, I'm sorry.
No,
go on.
Damn it, that's
no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought I'm still worried about
not laughing, throwing shade, like as much as possible. Like this channel's kind of built on talking about this experience. I don't mention names. I ain't throwing links. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but this is what this channel is built on, this experience.
Yeah.
And sharing it between each other. The hardest part is you're not doing that, because the addictive nature of a narcissist is, I want to get that reaction out of you.
Oh,
we
yeah.
see that in like mainstream narcissists, as well as those in our indie sphere who are, you know, pretty obviously narcissistic, how they will go after someone.
Yeah.
They'll go after a high profile character or someone that they didn't like. They'll go after their family. They'll smear campaign them because they just want that reaction.
Yeah.
And it's in our human nature to defend ourselves when we are defamed or when someone is attacked.
Yeah.
But the unfortunate
that's-
circumstances,
Right, but that's different. So the idea, like, some of them are doing it for that reaction, but also the worst part is it also makes them money. So like, that's a double, like, if I could,
that is an exchange.
I could feed this beast, but I'm making money. I'm getting the views. So there's nothing wrong with that. And on the opposite side, you could be talking about somebody completely different because you finally moved on. And that person still, no matter what, it's going to be saying you're talking about them because they're an addict. But you can only speak your truths. I just keep everything in I try to keep everything I statements, how I feel, how this happened, what I did, and never really point out that person's flaws, because pretty much by explaining what I did, you might figure it out. But the whole thing is working on me, because once you point, you know, the old saying, you point fingers, you know, 3 are pointing back at you. You just gotta I statements. Even when people ask for advice, I try to say, well, if I went through it, or I have been through it, you know, I did this. That's a lot of the times how addicts help each other, by telling their story, because no one fucking wants to hear you say, you need to do this, because I am definitely that type of person that's like, fuck you, I'll do the exact opposite then. You know,
me too, bro.
That's just who I am. Yeah. So I statements, and you know what, dude, if you're helping other people, then fuck them. Like, don't go after people, but if you're telling your truth, whatever, man, you don't have to respond to even people that are friends of that person or whatever. I mean, I saw enough, and I didn't even see, I probably saw a 10th of what you went through, and you have all the right in the world to talk about what is going to help you get through it, and F all those other people. Literally,
thank you, bro.
Keep them out of your life. Restraining orders if you need them, whatever. But you talk about what makes you not feel better, but helps you work through it. Because sometimes that's more painful. The feel better thing is the I got you, or haha. You don't want that. You want to work through it, and by working through it, you'll help others. You'll help others.
And that's Mortal Coil has helped me a lot with that. He's been giving me that perspective because he's dealt with some things in his past as well. He's been keeping me on the level, Scotty. He's like, no, that's a negative vibe, Steve. You don't want to do this because you're going after. You want to do this because you're helping or you're bettering yourself. And
well, that's what.
Thanks.
That's what people do. We help each other. You make bad decisions. I make bad decisions. Like, I throw things at people because I don't know if my decisions are always the right one. I make a lot of mistakes when I usually take the wheel. It's a lot better to throw it out there, either to somebody I trust or up to who I call God. Like, I just leave it to them, because I have never really run my life very well. That's how I see it.
You've gotten to this point, though, man. I'm proud of you, brother. As far as you've
I'm
gotten.
still working on it. I talk good shit.
Well, we're always working. We're always working.
I mean,
and it's easier to give advice. It's easier to give advice and take it. Oh, yeah, thanks, bro.
10,000? I can't really believe it. Where are you at now? I only got one. I checked.
YouTube.
Since this stream started, one person.
YouTube took like 150 from me.
Oh, that sucks. That
so
does
yeah,
suck.
It went from 10.2 down to 10, but it's all right.
I mean, the last 28 days, I've gained 327. So
good for you, dude.
And I don't make videos because I don't have time. So I stream, but I'm going to try to start clipping shit. I just need it. I need to clip shit.
Dude, some of those shorts were good.
Yeah, those are easy too. I just, sit there and listen and make reactions. But I'll do more of those. Yeah.
Angela says, at Lodonis, why would you give her that power over you? know that she's a narcissist. It's an addictive thing in me. My abandonment issues get triggered. I can also fall prey easily to getting involved in drama because it raises my fight mechanism.
Fun.
And so that's why I have to control my feelings. It's also, she reminds me of the people in my family who have been through similar experiences. And mom, to be honest, she reminds me of mom. So all of those things together make it difficult for me at times, but I am learning how to self-mastery and learning how to control myself. And it's self-mastery.
Mastery.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? Do you think I said masturbation?
I don't know. I mean,
because I'm rubbing them out all the time, Scott, if you want to know.
Anything really threw me off, dude.
It's not. That wasn't me. It was the other one.
48-minute mark. If you want to go back, check it out. He said something about trannies and him.
Zombie Box.
I don't know.
Zombie Box already clipped it. All right, that's already happened.
He did. I love that.
No, the bastard.
Real
Jessica.
quick, I know you're going through people's stuff. This is from Jessica, though. My addiction to food. My first ever addiction was food. And that is something I still have no control over. I'm a type 2 diabetic, and I'm terrible. I just got back on meds. I was doing so well for so long. Food is the only thing you can't quit. That is the toughest addiction of them all. And I would tell you, and if the meds are doing it too, that sucks. But if it is also something where the addiction, the meds plus the addiction, maybe you could work on the addiction. I would not hold back from going online to Overeaters Anonymous and just watching people's testimonies or videos. Because you'll realize someone who you think has nothing in common with you will tell your story. That happened to me. One of the first things I remember going into rehab, I was in detox. And the only reason I went is because my brother, my mom, they were reading her last rites. I was all fucked up. I fell on top of her. They had to drag me out of the hospital. She didn't die that day. But my brother the next morning was like, I can't watch her die and you kill yourself. You need to go get help. And I think that's all I was looking for was one person to say you're fucked up, because I've done so well at making everybody think I was just the little fucked up clown. No, I was fucked. And so I'm in detox, and now you're coming off shit. So you're all fucking emotional. And I'm sitting in this literal glass room, and there's this hot ass chick outside. So I'm not paying attention to anybody talking. And I'm looking at her, and she smiles at me, and she walks up to the glass. I'm like, okay, maybe I can get some detox love. And then she starts going, boom, and she just starts nailing her head off the goddamn glass till she's bleeding. And then I realized I'm not in a detox. I'm in a fucking psych ward. I didn't realize it because I was so fucked up. Then I'm like, oh my God, they locked me up. I'm crazy. So I'm sitting there not wanting to listen to anybody. And then all of a sudden this older black woman stands up, and I'm just like, I can't deal with this anymore. And she started talking, and I can't even remember the first thing she said, but man, it hit me. And I just sat there, and she talked for a good 35 minutes straight. And I was blubbering. She was telling my story, but it was hers. You know what I mean? Just the pain and what she went through, and nothing about because a lot of times when you're addicts love to talk about, oh yeah, this one time I got this dope and I shot up and this cop came and he shoved a nightstick up my ass. And no, she's telling what she went through, her story. And when she talked about the pain she's been through and the regret and all this shit, I was just like, holy shit. And I realized none of us are different. None of us are special. We're all fucking alike. Yeah, stories are a little different, but there is no world revolving around Scott. I stand on an earth that spins in a fucking galaxy, in a solar system that's in a galaxy of fucking a little galaxy and so many goddamn galaxies in a multiverse, so hopefully somewhere out there, I'm a magical clown.
I know you are, buddy.
Story. I hope I just made sense.
No, you made a lot of sense, dude. I thought that I was going nuts, and I thought that I became suicidal at times. I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why I was 15, 16 hours away, and periodically this person who did these horrible things to me would just drive all the way down there. just to throw vagina in my face and then stir it all up and I love you and all right,
Yep.
and then go back. And I really thought that there was something wrong with me. I began to believe that I was the narcissist, that because I would react in ways like when someone triggers you with those emotions and then creates a fight and ghosts and you know, I would react like insane. It was finding the narcissistic abuse and awareness community and hearing all the stories that were just alike. They were all alike, no matter what the circumstances were, how we felt, what we went through, how this person hurt us. I mean, there's different types. You know, not everybody was a cheater, and not everybody was this or that, but the emotions were all the same. And discovering that helped me to feel like I wasn't alone, first off. And dude, understanding that when you go through this, that you lose people in your life. People can't watch you. People cannot watch you self-destruct. People that love you can't watch you self-destruct. And so they leave your life. And you know, there's a time when you're going through it, when you're going through recovery, where you think that everybody left that because everybody was fake. Nobody really loved you because you're dealing with a person who was like that. Yeah,
no, true, true, yeah.
And it isn't until you come around on the other side of it, you know, kind of where I'm at now. All of a sudden, people are coming back. People that actually loved me, that were there for me. You know, thank God for you. Thank God for Etep. Thank God for Immortal Coil, Mr. Tickle Trunk. You know, there's DJ Odyssey.
They were protecting themselves.
You know,
that's really what they were doing. They were protecting. Like, look, I will help any addict that wants help. Like, and no matter what it is, a lot of people always ask me why I stuck like with you. The truth was because you're my friend. And, but I never would let you drag me down. You know what I mean? Like, I'd be there and I'd talk to you and I'd say the same shit over and over again because I knew at some point maybe it would sink in, or maybe something I said that one day was what was needed. But I understand, like, if there was an active drug user, I don't want to be around that person. I can't. You know, like, I'll cut them out of my life. I call those phone call people. Like, I could be a phone call away, but I'm not coming to your fucking house to help you with nothing. Like, you can get to detax yourself. Like, I don't need to be around you, you know, like, because you're putting yourself in positions that will fundamentally, it's just going to drag you down. It's so much easier for someone to pull you down than you pull them up. They have to stand up on their own. So absolutely, man. And that's like taking accountability, which is another aspect of this. Is narcissistic people, toxic people, they don't take accountability for what they do. They're always blaming someone else. And I think, like I said, working on yourself is getting through this. You've got to take accountability for your actions. Yeah. And you've got to be able to see things from other people's perspectives. And so it hurts, and you're going to hate yourself at some point, guys. You're going to look at yourself and you're going to go, I do not approve of the way that I acted. This was not me. I was not being in my best interest. I was not being a good friend, or I was self-destructing. Accept it. Understand why. Push yourself forward and keep it moving. Just a little in increments. It's not a big leap. A lot of things that some people in recovery believe that they can just, okay, well, that person's gone now, and I'm just going to leap forward out of all the fixing, all the trauma, and all the destruction that was caused. That's not going to happen. No. It's day by day by day. It's, you know, it's the funny thing too. A lot of addicts do the location move. It's this fucking town. I'm moving. You know what, dude? I moved to so many different cities, Pittsburgh, outside of Philly for a little bit, different areas in New England. And somehow the drug dealers always found me.
Amazing.
Amazing how they found me. It wasn't me. I mean, you know, like, how did I work in that really, really fucking disgusting dive bar? You know, like, shit, drugs? I can't imagine they're here. You know, like, dude, just the stupid shit I used to blind myself with. So
I tried to protect myself, you know, after one of the times I came up here and then went back home to Florida, by bringing a drug addict with me. Smart. Smart. Turned out to be, you know, just like the one I was actually sleeping with, or was sleeping with. And it was, I need a new town. I need a new space. I need to get out of here. I need to, and all that. And then what happened? Well, we went down to Lakeland, Florida, which is like one of the meth capitals of the United States. And
good meth down there, I bet.
Found drugs, you know, like all of a sudden, and when it couldn't be found, it got to the point, Scotty, where the person wouldn't get a job. And dude, I was buying him cigarettes and shit. And then he would, when I would get stuff, you know, I'd suck like pot or something like that. I'd put it away. It's just magically missing. All of a sudden things started missing, you know? And then it got to a point where I took a stand and said, you got to get a job. And then this person was gone for 10 hours a day. What are you doing? After getting high.
Yeah.
You know, like a person can only save themselves no matter what your addictive problem is.
Yeah.
If it's psychological, if it's, you know, trauma bonding, if it's a drug.
Check the private chat real quick.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me just say this, when someone introduced themselves to me and then I'm told they're in recovery and then 2 minutes later they're drinking a lager, I question their recovery. I'm not, it's not my right to question people, but I definitely, there might be an issue there. You know, maybe. And when they're
I didn't recognize those things. I thought it was just.
I mean, the minute you said that he was in recovery, his eyes like did this twitch thing, like, yeah, I'm a fucking liar. You know, like, and you know what, dude? It wasn't like until it was more me internalizing it and being like, dude, I'm judging. This is fucked up, Scott. Don't judge. Like, you don't know. Like, I am not there, but I knew. I feel bad that I should have, I think I might have said something. I don't know. But all I know is that dude, man, like.
Dude, I was so effed up at that time.
Right. And he found his meal ticket.
Yeah.
Like,
I was the meal ticket for the other one.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. The most money I'd ever made in a single year. That's where it went. And
yeah, man, it sucks.
I was respected by, let me take this car you got me, you know, and go.
It's terrible, dude. But when you're in a bad place, you attract people that are also in a bad, not bad people, but also people in a bad place. And they could do horrible things to you, but they're still bad. They're not bad people. They're just in a bad place. I have to truly believe that there are evil in this world. So I'm not saying certain people aren't evil, but if you were able to really get to the root cause and they literally had a chance really to say, I want help, and they fix themselves, I bet you they'd be good people, the majority of them. Yeah. But yes, there are evil people out there. I get that. But
there's a difference. I think you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, there is. There's one, that might be like you think is evil and I think is just someone who's in a fucking whirlwind of shit. And that person found another one that collided. The Dragonstorm collided with this person. Like, I don't think that person's a horrible person. I just think they're going through so much shit. And you do terrible things when you're in addiction, whatever addiction it is, to get your high. You do, dude. My mom was going blind and I would take her $5 or my $5 bill and switch it with her 50. And she wouldn't know the difference. I was such a scumbag, dude. Like, it turned me into a version of myself that's like the worst version. And I was that person for so fucking long that I told myself, like, no, man, this is just how it is. Like, I'm not bad. It's just I have to, I'm dealing with things. We could talk ourselves into whatever. If you can't point out your own bullshit, you may have a problem. Like, that's the truth. Like, you have to be honest with yourself, one other person, and God. If that's all you need is that one other person you could be honest with, and it could be a fucking random stranger. You just have to say it out loud. Because once you start saying shit out loud, you're like, oh, I'm pretty fucked up. Wow, that's a fucked up thing I did. You know what I mean? Like I sometimes come up with these great ideas and then I'll say it to a dude at work. And he's like, dude, that is ridiculously stupid. And I'm like, yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not smart. That's not smart. Yeah, we'll probably get electrocuted. Okay. And I do that with my life too. Thank God I met my wife. That's all I'm saying. Like, we were two people that, like, you shouldn't find somebody in early recovery, and we just lucked out that we found each other, and we don't try to live off each other's, like, her happiness. Oh, I live off that. Like, no, we worked on ourselves, we're able to, but the majority of the time, two people that meet in early recovery are just looking for a distraction. So I fucking lucked out. I don't know about how she lucked out, but I lucked out. I definitely lucked out.
Thank you once again, my brother. But you reminded me of something that Mortal Coil said, that he says to me. He says, you can love somebody from a distance. Cause I do see I understand what you're saying. And that's what I see when I look at them. and I still feel. But you have to love somebody from a distance. You're right.
You can't
Nobody
be
can
in
help
love
themselves.
from a distance, though. You can't
You can't be in love from a distance.
You can
Right.
care, like
You
a
can
loving care.
Right.
Yeah, because that person, you knew people before they became this, maybe like younger
Yeah.
when they were just starting
Yeah.
out on their path.
And
Like-
still damaged, but
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
It's just, it gets worse and worse and worse. And if you're not willing to
Yeah.
take a look at yourself and always point at everybody
You
else,
see, y'all see my man Ball check me. He was like, not in love from a distance. No, I understand what you mean. No,
yeah,
no,
it's a big
I'm,
difference.
I'm definitely not there. But you're caring from a distance. It's difficult. Like, I don't know what the experience is for everyone, but when you grow up around someone or they're very much part of your life for a long time, and even in phases, it's hard not to. But it's like dealing with toxic family members. Like my dad. I love my dad to death. I take him in doses because he's narcissistic. And I didn't know that until I went through what I went through and educated myself. And then I was sitting in a car with him and watched him go through all the check boxes one by one. And I had to gray rock him and go, oh my God, that's why.
Well, that's why that could be a valid reason why you're so used to it.
And, well, he taught me love bombed evaluation. I was the greatest son on earth one day. And then the next day I was his useless N-word that could get beat the crap out of and blamed for everything. So.
My mom was the queen of backhanded compliments. I never got ever a straight compliment. It was always with that negative ending. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like, and it took my sister saying something when we were like, I was in my mid-20s to me realize it. Like, she was like, why do you always do that to him? You only do that to him. And I was like, holy shit, I just thought that was an Italian mom thing. I didn't realize she was fucking me up.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We are what that's my biggest fear is everybody, oh, you're a great dad. I'm not great. I'm a dad. I am here. I am not always present. Like, these are things I need to work on because I'll have an earbud in. Like, my wife always points this shit out and I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. Like today, earbuds out, playing catch, was there. And all they want is your time. And you don't get that for too long. And I have to remember that. But see, me saying that out loud right now to you makes it more real than me internalizing that. That's the importance of talking. People keep shit that they don't even realize is like, was a very important thing. Like, I'm about to get emotional. Holy shit. That was a very important thing for me just to say, because I don't want to look back and my kids look at me like I looked at my dad, because he always had his back to me. He was working on things and helping with like shit I did, but never with me. It was always like roundabout. He was a great man, but I never saw it because he never showed it. You know what I mean? It took me years to realize, wow, he put up with a lot of shit. And that's why he was always cranky, but he was always doing something to help me out without me even noticing it. Like, I don't want to be them regretting anything. So, damn, you son of a bitch. Go fuck yourself, you narcissistic tranny fucking piece of shit. I'm going home.
Go back to the chat. Angela says, I have really recovered from NPD abuse. I detached emotionally and stopped dwelling on my feeling so violated by them. Good for you, Angela. I love that, sister.
That's huge.
Leading the way. It really is.
Dwelling. That's the self-loathing thing that a lot of addicts have. That dwelling in the past. It's so hard sometimes to break that. Like, dude, I thought at 18 my life was over because I had $300 credit card bill. That lasted for a very long time. That $300 credit card bill that I got my freshman year, first week of college, shit, it literally it fucked me up for so long, dude. It just was an avalanche after that of financial fuck ups. And it's just so funny if I just said to somebody, yeah, this, that, oh, well, you could easily send a couple bucks a month. Like, I felt like I had parents, but I never was taught any valuable things. Well, valuable things, let me rephrase. Living things, like real world. Like, my dad taught me a lot of what a gentleman is, but like the idea of like, how do you balance a checkbook? How do you do this? How you do? I'm still a child when it comes to that.
You're not alone, brother.
Jesus Christ, what should I be on a couch right now? Is this what this shit is all the time?
This is a Fifi channel.
Yeah,
we're in our Fifis here.
Where are we getting to conspiracy?
We're going to move on to that in a minute. Let's see. That was a Pollyannish way of looking at life. That was the old me. I am more suspicious of overly nice people. I tend to stand back and take my time knowing them. Hail Flyer. Establish boundaries. Recently had an interaction with someone that I've known for years. They were coming at me in public. I said something back in public because I had to clap, and then I went to the private and I sent a private message.
You
I
had
said,
the clap?
I had to clap back, No, what are you talking about? Stop
You had the
looking
clap.
at shit.
What is going on with you lately? Are you really working through your shit?
I am working through my shit. I don't have no gonorrheas or nothing. I don't have none of that. It's nothing.
Okay.
I got nothing.
Just
Okay,
the clap. Okay.
No.
Hey, it clears up. Don't worry. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Get a shot.
I switched and I talked to this gentleman in private, and he immediately went on the attack. I said, basically, I have my boundaries. Stop. And when I said that, the person got overly emotional, said they were taking the gloves off, saying they were going to attack me, that I was a piece of this. And I said, I just blocked them. So because I understand that personality type now.
Yep.
Okay, you had to berate me, talk down to me, and then blame shift and project on me in public. And when I came to in private to have a conversation, I was the biggest piece of trash in the world. Well, that's because you're looking for attention. You're looking to create a reaction, an emotional reactivity. That's narcissistic. Blocked. Yeah. You have to understand how to deal with certain people, and also with the understanding that not everyone is wired the same way. We're all different. We all got our own damage. So sometimes a friend or another personality may come at you sideways. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have a deep understanding of their own issues or how to operate around them, then you could take that the wrong way. You could take that to a point where So understanding intuition. And don't
forget, also, not everybody has to forgive you.
Oh, no.
It's when you do an amends, you're just really going through what you did wrong, not what the other person's, just what you did wrong, what you could have done better. You are apologizing in a way, but they don't have to accept it. But at least you got your point across. And if you truly not apologize, but truly not regret.
Take accountability.
Thank you. Take accountability for what you did. Then your job is done, and you can both move on separately with your lives. Because sometimes we hurt people deep, man, and they'll never forgive you.
And you may not even know it. It is what it's a learning lesson. You take that lesson in life if there is something great to be learned there, but most especially keep your boundaries strong, control your fifis, and just do the best that you can. Be the best person that you can be. We're not all going to make the right choices at the right time. The Gilkman's out in the chat. Hail, my old OG TFM chat brethren. Good to see you, Gilkman. Thank you for stopping through, buddy.
Someone who's very honest about what they go through. On his channel, he talks about everything. Like, he's very honest. That's why I always loved the Gilkman. Met him a couple times, and he's just a good dude.
That was the very first place all of us went to. Remember, even the big guys now, we all went there. His channel was the couch. And we would go there and listen and talk and interact with one another and just open up about things.
Yeah. And he would rip on you occasionally really well.
He really would. Yes, he would. And it's horrible when he does it. It's like, you can't understand the power the Gilkman has.
Yep. It's true, man.
It is very true. Let's see. Let's go to Sporking News Podcast. Scott Clark says, Sporking News Podcast, great to hear you not only came out of a bad version of yourself, but that you can admit it with humility and grace.
I've never heard someone say that about me, so I want to kind of clip that. Thank you, Scott. I've never been humility and grace in the same sentence. Dude, you're one. I'll make you a wrench on my channel. That's me not being able to take a compliment. I do that shit, man. Thank you, Scott. Now, I have a problem with that sometimes. I get embarrassed, but I shouldn't. But it's really one of the nicest things. One of the nicest things. Yeah, it's some weird trick.
I don't feel good about myself. Yeah, it's not.
Well, I wouldn't if I were you either.
Not feeling your worth, brother. I'm stroking it right now. Okay,
you don't
even see it.
I'm such a wait. No one can. So we've got you're stroking your little.
No.
You got the clap. You had the clap, or have. And you like to go to, I don't know, truck stops for trannies. This is
I can't talk
coming
about
out
none
to
of
be
this.
one of the greatest memes ever.
I can't talk about none of this.
Where's the Legion?
Amy asks us in the chat, what's up, Amy? Howdy, y'all. Thank you for being here, sweetheart. Good to see you. One of our good friends, hail there be rogues here. Bad take Tina Bojan. Narcissistic parents are the worst of the devils.
It sucks because they're just human beings, but they do mess you up. They do mess you up.
Look, watch I, Tanya, Tina. All right.
Is that the porn?
Because no. It's about the movie about Tanya Harding.
Oh, she was in a porn. That's right.
Watch I, Tanya. All right. I just want, if there's relevance there, we'll talk about in private. But the mom was a narcissist. Tanya Harding had issues. She had cluster B issues. And then she married a dude who was a narcissist. And I watched that movie and it was like, oh my God, I understand what's going on here. I understand the family dynamics and everything because I've been researching it for a while now. But Tina, I still want to have you on for an interview. So let me know. We'll talk in private because I want to interview and talk about your experiences. Thank you so much for being here, sweetheart. I love you. And thank you for being my friend and always being there for me. Let's see. Well, let's talk about your channel. Scotty, what is it that you do over on Sporking News Podcast, sir? Tell me about your week, about the insanity that happens there.
Okay, I'm not telling people that I'm definitely on these nights, but I try every Monday. It's so fucking hard, dude. Like last night, there was a goddamn softball game till I didn't get home till 8:30, and then I get up so I couldn't get the stream together. But I try every Monday night to talk A Song of Ice and Fire, which is George R. Martin's unfinished work, which I pray to God finishes someday. We talk about the lore, different properties he has, different shows like House of the Dragon, things like that. We talk about the book that's based on Blood and Fire, or Fire and Blood. So we do that on Mondays. Thursday nights right now are kind of up in the air. We do some anime with me and Biggles, Mets. And then sometimes I just do random shit if he can't be there, or I just don't do it. And then I try Saturday nights to do the Aluminum Spork, where we talk conspiracies, ancient lost histories, aliens, all that good shit, but also, what's going on in demonic Hollywood and our government and the world. So that's my channel. I used to have a lot more time, but I don't, and that sucks. I have to figure a way to get videos out because I'm trying to start Sporking Records, which would be like Beatles, the Grateful Dead.
Oh, that's such a great idea, dude.
Yeah. I have the channel set up. I just haven't been able to make anything. So I think I'll just start with shorts on that channel, try to get through. So yeah.
One of the shows that I try not to miss every week, to be honest with you, is when you're talking about George R. R. Martin, House of the Dragon. I don't want to miss those shows. You have an excellent panel of people up there. Some well-known people in the community. Miss Martin Muses and State Kenobi. Well-knowledged, well-spoken, probably some of the smartest people I've seen on YouTube. Tell me about how it is working with them.
They're fantastic. You want to talk about people that shoot from the hip and tell you what they believe and what they think, like even behind the scenes, like they're very honest people. They helped me navigate this when my addiction at the beginning of YouTube made me like, oh, I got to check to see if my numbers grew. I got to check to see how many views. I got to check. Like they helped me a lot with that, getting through that.
Awesome.
And, but when it comes to like A Song of Ice and Fire, like Stig and I have been, and Teresa and Mr. Grant Gregory, Tina, let's see, Mason from Free Folk of the Fandom, who is criminally under subbed. I don't even think he has 100 subs yet. Wow. And then occasionally Gary from Nerdrotic, and hopefully we'll get Jane, because she used to be a regular, but Jane Theory for a couple shows here and there. But it's fun talking about a property that I love. I love it. It breaks my freaking heart he hasn't gotten out the next book. And he keeps getting older, but the world he created, I don't care how mad you're with the dude, is freaking amazing. Like the way he writes fire, like this one. This is Fire and Blood, but like a beautiful art one. And like the way he writes it, he's just transcribing it, and it's actually a Grand Maester writing from accounts from other accounts from different people from the time he's writing about. So, you know, like 100 years prior, he's taking different people's accounts, a Grand Maester here, a court fool there. You know, it's so cool how he writes and how he can get into different people's heads and write as them. I mean, every book he writes from somebody's perspective, and he's inside their head. And if he's not inside their head, we never truly know what the person's thinking in a different chapter when they're not the main POV. It's just really, the guy's an amazing writer. And I know we all give him shit because of Game of Thrones, because he hasn't finished the books, but I'm sorry, his writing for me is up there with Tolkien. You know, Tolkien is great writing, but for me, Martin just puts me there even more. The way he describes shit, sometimes it's even too in depth, but then you realize he meant something by that. Like you're supposed to know that guy's eye color because 6 books or 4 books later, it comes back. Like he weaves I just think he's a little stuck. And I just pray to God he ever finishes the God.
I hope so, because I need something better than the TV show left me with.
Yeah.
I need something better than that.
Even House of the Dragon isn't what I expected, but I now divide it. House of the Dragon is movie world, even though they say it's the truth. And then his written stuff is something different because if they want us to believe this is canon, well, they're fucking it up. But if I don't believe it's canon, it's a really fun show and some great acting. So
it's got to be its own world. It has to be. And I know what you're talking about because I've read a series or books and I've seen the difference between the games and then the television show or a movie. And that's I have to compartmentalize it. This is its own world. This isn't attached to this. It has to be. Because
I only read The Wheel of Time. So I watched that show and people, I mean, they fucking hate it.
Yeah, that's what
I didn't hate it. It was entertaining to me because I'm not invested. But then even Tolkien, I'm not like, I love Tolkien. I got, this whole little set here that my uncle gave me years ago. I love Tolkien. And I'm not even a diehard like others I know. And Rings of Power was so bad that it was an insult to the man's memory. You know what I mean? So like, I guess that's what to Robert Jordan, that's what people felt about that shit because they switched characters and people, like I get that. I just started watching Fallout. Have you watched that?
No, I haven't.
All I know is I've watched the first episode and it was very entertaining, dude.
It's dystopian, right? Dystopian future.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, and there's some really well-known actors in it. The girl that's like the main focus of half of the first episode is really cute. But I don't know who she is. But like all I know is it was a lot of fun when I watched it. I was invested already. Like, when an actor can get you like that just by how she's doing like her 50s, even though it's like, 200 years later, but she has like that 50s vibe. Like it wasn't bad.
Excellent. Speaking of media, guys, last week, if you had a chance to check out the portrait that Mortal Colonnade did on Professor Sam Back, and I advertised some other good friends of mine that are coming back into my life, and I'm so thankful for it. Nerium Nova and Red Gaze. Please go back, check out links to their stuff, and check out Blood Bonds. But I also wanted to, because I saw this today, and I remember when. Let me see. Oh, hold on. I remember when this concept first began. This is a Ninja Blast. It's done by a friend of mine called Fatal J. Beth, could you go into Dragon Core chat and please share a link to this? It's in there for me. This is Ninja Blast. This is a comic book created by someone from the indie sphere that we began in. His
boy.
name.
He's my brother from another mother.
Absolutely. Hail the Dark Council. They have a rotating show that goes on. Some of the best gentlemen that I have met since I started. Mark with a C, Damaj 9, Lord Callus, Abu Nas, Fatal
Mark
J.
with a C. First of all, Mark with a C is one of the greatest people to have a conversation with. There's another one. Culture, love you, buddy. But Mark with a C is one of those people that just makes me think in a way I've never thought, but from a different perspective. He's a black gentleman. I'm a beautiful white man. So like, like just when I
skin.
Yeah, just a little bit of that olive skin, but like talking to Jane Theory and Lorena Creole back in the day, like they helped me in my 40s recognize stuff I didn't see because I'm not looking at it from their point of view.
Absolutely.
So the Dark Council is a beautiful way to look at the fandom from a point of view. If you're a white dude coming from, a majority black panel, it's really cool to hear how they see it. Because there are some differences that you don't recognize. You're like, holy shit, I never would have thought of it that way. So it's awesome. Those guys are all awesome.
Those guys also fought. I mean, I know I've talked about this on the channel before. We all kind of started off in this hub that became something called the Fandom Menace, which was a grassroots backlash against our entertainments being used as platforms to espouse bigotry propaganda. It was a mess. And one of the dispersions that was used by these narcissistic types in the media, in Hollywood, and by actors, all kinds, was that we were all 40-year-old white dudes living in our mother's basement because we hated women and black people. And then here was this group of black gentlemen, a diverse group of black gentlemen, by the way, that were all on par with the same message. They all loved Star Wars. They all loved their modern mythologies. They were fighting against these things being used to propagandize and to divide us. And they didn't get the attention that they deserved. It was just by chance that Scott and I were able to meet up with one, like he already mentioned, wonderful women in our community. Jane Theory, Lorena Creole did a show with them. It was a pre-show too. It was fun times. It was a pre-show. It was called the Rogue Four to the Dark Council. Scott and I learned a whole lot from those ladies.
Shit,
and I'm very, really. And I'm very thankful for that time with them. But this idea that we were all painted in one light, which is, the sociopathic, psychopathic, narcissistic way of looking at the fans of entertainments which were being used in order to create negative fuel, to destroy them, to get attention because of their hurt fifis that were unresolved and their own daddy or mommy issues, or whatever the case was. And they were very hateful, spiteful people who took things like Star Trek, Star Wars, and others, and they used them to hurt the fans who just wanted to have escapism, who wanted to talk around the water cooler, who wanted to enjoy the continuation of the Skywalker line, or whatever the case was, the voyages of the USS Enterprise. And so the answers to that were people in our community producing their own medias, like Red Gaze created Sunsworn, Miriam Nova created Bonds. We also had Fatal J here, who created Ninja Blast. So if you would please, guys, it would mean a lot to me. There's only 16 days left on this campaign.
I know. I got it.
If you guys would go ahead, even if you can't back it, if you would please share a link and just put it out there in your social medias. Just get the word out there. Because I remember when Fatal first started putting this out, I remember doing advertisements for this before I went crazy. This has been a long time ago. Long time ago, bro. A long time ago. So
I didn't realize I thought I missed the first one. So this is still his first one.
It's his first one, and 16 days left on it. Yep.
He sent me something about it, like something about one of the covers I would love. Wait a minute. What did he say? Hold on. Keep talking. I'm going to find what he said.
Yeah, no problem. Either if Deborah or Beth could go into the Dragon Core chat and click on the link for this and share it out here. I'll share it out here. If you can copy and paste it for me, because this really does mean a lot to me. Like these we were supporting independent creators, from the beginning, whether they were YouTubers, whatever they were doing. Because we were the answer. There were people out here creating, making their voices heard, fighting against this, these sycophants in Hollywood who were just targeting our modern myths and destroying them, literally going after our childhoods because of their broken childhoods. I never understood more what was going on with the quote unquote blue-haired weirdos, the Twitter hate mobs, the Brie Larson bots, like all of these the flying monkeys, clusters of flying monkeys and other toxic people who supported the toxicity coming out of places like Disney Lucasfilm until I went through narcissistic abuse recovery. And now I can see it so clearly. These are damaged people who want to hurt others. They enlist other damaged people to do their work, and creatures who just love chaos, and they misappropriate. They project. They do exactly what they accuse others of. Well, you're a colonizer. You appropriate other people's stuff. So I'm going to take something you love and appropriate it, and then twist it and use it to beat you and produce something that's horrible to make you feel bad, destroy your childhood. Then I'm going to laugh at you, point the finger, and says, "Well, you don't like it because you're a bigot racist." A very important time in our history as far as the backlash, and I'm glad to see wonderful channels, people that I have known and watched grow from the beginning, people like Scott, like Gary Nerdrotic, Geeks and Gamers, World Class Bullshitters, Lord Doomcock, Midnight's Edge, and many others, Hell Comics Division and the Dicks Division.
Yeah.
So many people who have come together and continue to fight the good fight, calling out bullshit in our media, calling out these people who want to use our modern mythologies to destroy our childhoods because they're hateful bigots, and then point the finger at us and project those ills. Yep. So Fatal J's been one of those people from the beginning. Please support if you cannot, if you're not interested in purchasing or you cannot purchase Ninja Blast. Please put this out on your social media, because one share can mean the difference between a campaign being made or breaking. Thank you, guys. Much love. All right, there. I had to get off. I got on my historian high horse for a minute.
Yeah, man, that was
Snowed.
good.
I think that was Snowed up the other week. He was like, go historian for a minute, because when you couldn't, you had the sleepover with the girls.
Yeah.
I went on Snow's
Sleepover?
channel.
When was this?
Was it a sleepover? I thought you had a sleepover or something. I thought your daughter had a sleepover or something. I don't know. So stuff, kids.
Oh, the girls over here. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I jumped over there. Mortal Coil was over there on Snowed Up. His highest viewed show ever. That's because Walton was there. Trust me, I bring controversy, baby. But anyway,
I love Snowed Up.
Yeah.
Snowed Up keeps saying I don't want to go back on his channel. I don't know why he thinks that.
Because Snow, it's ego. Snow gets in his fifis a little bit. He's like me.
Snow.
That's
great.
why we get along.
What a great like premise of his show too. Like puppets. I got to make one.
Well, we call him Jim Henson's middle finger over here, Scotty. And that's why I said that on his channel, and I've said that several times before. Guys, please subscribe to Snow Up Music and Entertainment. He took a niche. He took puppeteering and literally just without giving up, without quitting, no matter ups and downs, self-sabotages, successes, through all of it, he created an entire sector of our indie sphere on YouTube that has puppeteering. It's all puppeteering. And you'll see great people over here like Shellback. I love Shellback. I got a chance to hug him hip to hip one day, and it was in Orlando, Florida, and I really enjoyed it. It was very personal. He's stout. We'll just say he's stout. So we got to hug him, and Gary wouldn't talk to us, Scotty, so we had to take a picture with his back. Fuck it.
When was this?
We were in Orlando at the Geeks and Gamers meetup, and I saw Shellback, and we were trying to get Gary's attention because let's get a picture together.
Or was this the next year?
It might have been the following year. I think it was the following year.
I still have shirts for Gary and his wife, Sporking News shirts. It's only been like almost 2 years. I gotta go to the post office. Yeah, no, dude. That was weird, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I got really weird, not weirded out, but like really like not self-confident. What am I looking for? Like when everybody was at these meetups in Orlando that year I went, like, and seeing all these people surround people like I've gotten to know, like, and I was like, am I a fan? Am I a friend? Am I what? I just feel out of place. Like, I just never felt comfortable. I don't know why. Like, I got home and I'm like, wow, I did not experience that. I just kind of like, it was awesome hanging out with Culture and you, like back at Culture's.
And the show was fun.
Oh, dude, that was a ball. But when we went to the actual things, like Ryan, awesome, dude. Like, awesome. Ryan's one of my favorite people. Drunk, he's a faker. No, Drunk's great. But like, talking to them and stuff, like I don't know if I actually felt myself. I felt like I felt myself. I just didn't feel like myself.
So while I was living in Florida, I had a chance to visit a few of those. And the first time I felt like that. The second time, it was different. It got to a point, Scotty, where like I was seeing so many different people. I'm talking with Jeremy Griggs. and who I loved for the longest time. Like I modeled kind of like the rogue idea, like after what he was building. And I was just hanging with him. And I was like, all right, I see somebody I want to talk to. Like I think it was Biggles. I was like, I want to go talk to Biggles. And so, and Jeremy was like, you can hang out here. Hang out with me for a few minutes, Steve. I was like, I'm sorry, dude. I'll be back. I just left. And it wasn't disrespect. It's like, Jeremy's Jeremy to me. Like Gary's Gary to me. Like drunk is drunk to me. Like there's just people,
that was the thing. Like I didn't want to have to, I don't know. Maybe it's my ego. Like I was like, I'm not going to like, no offense. Cause you stood in line and I gave you credit because you got to talk to him for a couple minutes. Like I just was like, I'm not standing in line. It makes me feel kind of weird. I don't know. You know, like,
I dig that.
It was my ego. It was my ego, dude.
Okay. So like, I wouldn't stand in line for Jay. All right. Cause you know, like I've been close with Jay forever, but that was the first time I got to see Gary like one-on-one. So I was like, fuck it. I will stand in this line and take a video and make, you know, and make some content. But then again, we got to hang out later. We got to hang out the next one, you know, so I got to sit around, you know, it was like me and a bunch of us, and like the next table was Quarter Black and Gary and his wife, and like everybody's just eating pizza together. You know, it's you get to a point where, like, I get what you're saying. Like, we're all just people, all of us.
Yeah,
and that's what I love the most about weird. Gary is it. Yeah,
he's just Gary.
He's just Gary. Yeah. Right. Yeah, culture is just culture. He said, I never stand in lines. I have limited time because I have to sell shit.
And that's why I was just about to say, culture's not just culture. He's culture. Look, the motherfucker.
Culture and pigtails. You see this asshole in pigtails? What the hell? He's living it up. There it is. There it is.
I love these. These are great. I want a whole set so I can play poker with them.
Zombie Box Review says, Culture Casino is FNT's biggest shill. Well, you heard it here.
Yeah. But it's working.
It's working. He'll do it. Listen, Culture made all the right moves. He made all the right moves. Yeah. And people, you know, and it's what it is. Like I had to, for me to succeed, my right move was, cut everybody off. And because that was happening anyway, cut everybody off, work on me, come do this, come on my own island. And it worked, you know,
it does work
for that.
Like, look, there's people like Jane, Culture, you, I'm just blanking, but there's people amazing. Like, there's people that like, I don't have to talk to you every day to know that we're cool. Like we're all working on our own shit. We're all busy. I just love the moment, the chances, but okay, I'm just saying it because you're here. But like, I love being on panels with them and stuff like that, like going at each other, sometimes hitting a nerve and you're like, fuck you. And you're like, oh shit, that really hurt me. I don't know why, you know, like just going at each other, having a good time, you know, like I miss that shit. Like, but like you're building it with new people too. Like, you know, I never thought I'd be on a show that he comes on, like Mark with a C to me is like, dude, that dude is like amazing.
He is as real as it gets.
And he comes on my channel and I'm just like, why? Like, why are you coming on my channel, dude?
Because Mark is as real.
Yeah, he just enjoys talking with us. You know? So like, and Jane was the same way and is the same way. She's just doing her thing now. But like Jane loves talking about certain things and she'll go on your channel. She's just who she is. And that's what I forgot at the beginning. Like tried to become not a caricature, but I was so focused on like, gotta get views, gotta do that. Like, dude, I am who I am. If it grows, it grows. If it doesn't, it doesn't. When I get time, I'll make videos. When I don't, I won't. But I enjoy talking to the people I talk to about just random shit like we have tonight. It's fun for me. It's also, it's beneficial, like mentally, like just sometimes you don't even realize you're working through something as you're talking.
Yeah.
It's great.
That was a trigger for me for the longest time before I, I'm not going to say I'm perfect, before I was as healed as I am now. When people would come through the chats and it would just trigger things from, other smears or other circles or whatnot. Being over here, being isolated, meeting people like Deborah, Jessica, Druid. God, where's Druid and Eric? Where's MC Mike Does at? People like Beth. This community here has saved my life. These subscribers, these people have saved my life. I'm so thankful for them all. Let's see. The Gilkman says culture is better than Sporking, but I met Sporking first, so that might make him better than culture.
Clip that.
He says, I haven't met Yalton yet, but I do want to. I am going to hug you. Understand? Hold on. I need a personal moment. This is some old school shit. Gilkman, I'm going to hug you. All right. We're going to embrace. And it's going to be, it may feel weird to you at first. All right. But just go with it. All right. Just let it happen. Let it continue. And I guarantee you, by the end of it, you're going to have feelings that you've never had before. It's going to be a very brotherly embrace between the two of us. I can't wait to, I want to know what you're scent. Are you musky? Are you sweet? I hugged Angelus Draven the other week. He actually came over here and hung out, and it was, sorry, I didn't expect it. It was, and he didn't get bit either. I was a little upset because he's a vampire. And if a vampire is going to come over to my house, I'm going to get bit. You know what I mean? But we're going to get very personal, sir. I promise. It's good to see you, Thomas. All right. Hey, you frozen? Oh, there you go. Hey, buddy, what's going on? What's going on? You all right, bro?
What just happened? Where?
That's old school, bro. That's, Thomas is he's been my boo since year one. That's the original man crush.
It went through my nose. You just called Thomas your boo. Oh man, I am so glad I was not on camera because it literally. Oh god, it went. Oh wow, holy crap! That clears out your sinuses. What? Yeah, culture gay is right.
What are you talking about? That's not. No, the man love isn't gay. Man love is not gay. Zombie Box
definition of gay. Anyway,
sorry for venting in the chat. You and Scott are good people, and I didn't mean to say you guys dislike me. I'm just feeling lonely at the moment, bro.
I totally missed that. I want to see where he said he disliked you.
Yeah, I don't.
No one says they dislike me. That's impossible.
Yeah, he's perfect. What are you talking about? He's just
growing. Oh no, he's saying we dislike him. I'm not a hater.
Dude, Andy, I love
You're
you.
A hater.
My ass.
This guy.
You've saved. You have. Don't listen to this guy.
What did he do to your ass?
He saved my ass a couple times.
Oh, Andy saved.
Yeah. Why'd you think? I didn't say.
Ass. I thought you said
slayed. What? No.
Slayed.
What I said.
Look, your microphone can't even handle it. Your fucking Yeti or whatever it is. Just blue diamond it. Relax. All I'm saying is Andy is masculine, and I understand that you like masculine men. I mean, or mescaline. I can't remember.
Well, I'm a Wiccan. I worship the moon. I'm a goddess worshiper. So. I'm
a goddess worshiper. That's why I like the cock. What?
No, that's not what I said. I didn't say any of that.
No,
all I said there's nothing wrong. There's nothing. Man love isn't gay. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's not. No, I understand.
Sequoia, shaggy chestnut,
vaginas in the rain. So many fucks given. Wet ass vagina. Vaginas in the rain. So many fucks given. Wet ass vagina. Vaginas.
Damn it, culture. And Andy, I love you. In a straight way. In a very straight way, sir. Okay? Don't listen to these haters.
In a really straight way.
I'm hetero. Yes, I do, brother.
Bro? Did you just say you give head, bro?
I said hetero. What is going on today? I don't understand.
Okay.
I don't understand what's going on in the chat. Okay. It's about the 2-hour mark. I think we're going to cut it out.
Yeah. Good. I mean, I don't know if we're good anymore, but I'm here.
No, we're definitely not. Well, here
I'm good until I pass you in subs. You're my boy.
We're going to be fighting. We're going to be fighting tomorrow. There'll be 3 more rumors. I want to say thank you so much to Jessica, Hale Sister, Culture Casino, Deborah Cohen out there, Andy Zombie Box Reviews, my twin train wreck Beth. Good to see you.
Beth also she thought you said enslaved.
Beth, no, don't twist up, baby girl. Don't do that to me. No. Don't join these.
In the rain.
Don't twist on that. Don't these bastards. Don't do that. Good.
Don't
Keep
miss
looking
the
up.
Gilkman. Don't miss the Gilkman. He just dropped the...
Oh, I'm sorry. I won't. MC Mike Does. I need to see MC Mike Does. That's my boy right there. Gilkman for $20. You spending 20 on me, bro. Oh shit. All right, now you get the full me. Let me take my shirt off a little. I'll take my shirt off on your stream again if you want.
Jesus I have hit rock bottom of YouTube. I have hit rock bottom. I thought I hit rock bottom. You have a bigger channel, and I'm on your channel listening to you do whatever you do. You're doing great. Hey, everybody. What?
After watching this close up, I don't know if I want to meet Walton now. What? I think that culture and Sporking are just jealous. Awesome. I am who I am. And I'm not changing for... He said he's not changing for anyone. That's right.
I'm just hitting all different buttons.
By the way, Gilkman, I want to say that you created the most embarrassing moment of my life when we took our shirts off on your stream. Because according to Christy, had that shit framed and put up in her house. All right.
The road daddy, Stephen Welton.
The road daddy. If you need any more proof after the stream that true evil does not die, according to Christy, is in the chat. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Please.
I love Christy.
I love
Christy. Want to talk about
too.
somebody who doesn't hold punches? Holy shit!
Oh, dude! Please check out. According to Christy's Walmart streams, you will not. People of Walmart streams, you will not be disappointed. Well, thank you, Thomas. I appreciate and love you so much, man. Thank you, bro.
Good person. Good human being.
Ladies and gentlemen, you do an outro. Do an outro for everybody. Tell them where they can find you, Mr. Sporking.
Yeah, Sporking News Podcast. You can find me on all the Sporking things. So YouTube, the Rumble, definitely on Rumble. Trying to grow that. Try to hit 500 on there. I'm at like 4 something. So please follow me on Rumble. Definitely over on YouTube if you don't already follow me there, and on the Twitters and the Instagrams and all that other stuff. I am Sporking News Podcast. And if you like talking about weird things like lost ancient civilizations, conspiracies, George R. R. Martin, which might be a conspiracy, and stuff like that, and anime and shit, come on over. And we do bitch about Hollywood, but for the most part, I'm trying to talk about things I like.
Awesome. Thank you, Scotty, so much for being here. Guys, please subscribe to Sporking News Podcast. Share links out for his channel. This man is permanently understubbed. He has a great team of people working with him, all of which are just the best. You won't find a better crew on YouTube. Guarantee that. Please remember to support Fatal J's, Ninja Blast, and support all the wonderful creators out there. If you have a voice and you want it heard, if you are upset about something, if you want that, then you make a YouTube channel, make a Rumble channel, get out there, make your voice heard, because silence is what the enemy wants. All right. To always speak your truth, speak what you love, support your independent creators. A share could be the difference between a campaign being broke or making it. Sometimes that little bit, sometimes that ounce of love, that just showing somebody that you care out of nowhere can really help a channel or a person making a comic or a book. It can really be the difference between them having a good day or a great day, or giving up on a project. And we spread love around here. So please support them. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. And I am also Lodonis, Raven Wolf, Dragonstorm, Ysir, and Sage. Hail to all my fellow survivors and thrivers from narcissistic abuse. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and never again suffer that fool. Love yourself.
Love yourself?
Yeah, love yourself, you know.
Like, how?
Look, there's a very manly thing happening on the screen right now. I don't want to talk about that. I mean, love yourself, like appreciate who you are.
The way you're doing it, it looked really good.
I am hetero. I'm a pagan man, okay?
Again, with the pegging, what is up with you and pegging, bro?
Not pegging. Pegging, not pegging.
Yeah. So, like, the dude wears a devil costume, or like he's dressed like some type of wizard? Oh, that's a yes. That's a yes.
This is supposed to be a badass outro.
It is. It is,
like
it's an outro.
Stuffed and bad in the ass.
Yeah, it's definitely an outro. I feel like I should be wearing a jean jacket and driving a Camaro in 1987.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I am too, Culture. I am too.
I don't understand.
Hey, where the hell was Mr. Jekyll from?
I'm a pagan man.
He's a pegging. He likes pegging men. I mean, you have a feeling. Well, you have it. Like, do you actually put something over it to extend it?
No. It is what it is. I'm proud of my 6 inches.
Just like you're 5'10".
I'm a 5'6"3/4. Thank you very much.
Culture. I don't know who he's pegging, but you got to be safe.
Culture, don't.
If there's any pegging going on, you know, Immortal Coil's definitely the man in that relationship.
I'm the man.
We are Spartans. That's the game you play. Come at me, I'm thirsty, or whatever.
You're such a dick.
We're gonna attack the Spartans.
Yes, Deborah. Pagan. No, that's gay.
Wait a minute. Is that like poly pegging or something? Is that multiple pegging?
Thank you, Jessica.
Oh,
Thank you.
again. Oh. Like nature, spirits, and love.
No. Never, don't go.
Oh, wow.
These bastards. No.
Oh, okay.
Don't get involved with these mothers. No.
I'm going to start doing some research on that one for my friend here who can't admit that he likes to peg other dudes. Or get pegged.
I like women. I like men.
Yeah, but women don't like you. Holy shit. Thanks for having me, buddy. Love ya.
I love you too, brother.
Such a great picture.